All right, in this video, I'm going to go over solving absolute value equations, which are equations with absolute values in them, if that wasn't apparent to you. Now, if you don't remember what absolute value does, I will review it here for a second. So let's say we have 12, and we take the absolute value of it. That would be 12. When you take the absolute value, it's asking what is the distance from 0. We are 12 units from 0 at 12. Okay, so what if we change that a bit? What if we said negative 11 absolute value? The distance from 0 in this case is 11, not negative 11. So when you take the absolute value, you basically just change whatever that number is inside to a positive number. But to be mathematically correct, you're asking what the distance is from 0. So no matter what number this is, it's going to come out to be 8, right? So 6x plus 4 could be 8, right? Or 6x plus 4 could be negative 8, because the absolute value of negative 8 would still give us positive 8. So just like when we're solving equations by factoring, we set each factor equal to 0. This is kind of the same thing. We set the equation equal to each possibility that could arise, could happen inside this absolute value to get the answer. So you take whatever's on the other side of the negative, or on the other side of the equal sign, and you make it negative, and also the positive version, of course. So solve for x. 6x equals 4. Divided by 6. X equals, got to reduce that, right? 2/3. Okay. There's one answer. Subtract by 4. 6x equals negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. Okay. So negative 2 could work and 2/3 could work. Let's check. 6 times 2/3 plus 4. 3 cancels, right? So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 4, which is 8. So that one checks. Shouldn't circle things that aren't actually my answer. 8. Let's try negative 2. 6 times negative 2 plus 4. Negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8, which the absolute value of that is 8. Don't forget we had the absolute value around that the whole time. I always forget that. So that checks. All right, next one. I'll give you a good look at that one. Then move on to the next one. So we have an absolute value here, but then we have some more numbers on this side of the equation from that. So we need to move that 15 over to the other side, right? Okay, so we have absolute value of 1 minus 4x equals 13 minus 15 is negative 2. Wait a minute. Hold up. If the absolute value taken is always positive, then how can it equal negative 2? The answer is it can't equal negative 2. No solution. Don't you love it when that happens? And if your teacher wants a little extra note, you can just write on your paper, say, absolute value cannot be negative. It's a terrible E, but yeah. All right, let's do this one now. Well, if it can't be negative, can it be 0? Sure, but we only have to do it once because there's no negative version of 0. There's no positive version of 0, really. It's just 0. So, negative 5x plus 10 equal to 0. Minus 10 both sides, negative 5x equals negative 10. Divide both sides by negative 5. And you're left with positive 2. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. So that checks. One more practice problem before I wrap up this video, because we need to just do an extra one just because practice helps us remember what we do when we solve equations with absolute values. So we have the absolute value here, right? We can't solve it until we get everything extra on the other side of the equal sign. So we add 4 to both sides. It's not negative this time. That's a good sign. That means we actually have an answer. Unless you were hoping for no solution. So what do we do here? Set it equal to the positive version of what's on the other side, and set it equal to the negative version of what's on the other side of the equal sign. So negative 10 and positive 10. And then just solve both equations. 3x equals 15 divided by 3, right? X equals 5. All right, what about this one? 3x equals negative 5. It's not going to turn out quite so nice, is it? Okay. Let's check those answers. 3 times x, in this case 5, minus 5, absolute value, minus 4 equals 6. 15 minus 5 is 10, right? 10, absolute value of 10 is 10, minus 4 is 6. 10 minus 4 is 6, so that works. What about negative 5 thirds? 3 times negative 5 thirds. Whoa. Minus 5, absolute value, minus 4 equals 6. That's a terrible 3. Okay, so 3's cancel, right? So we're left with a negative 5 minus 5 absolute value. Negative 5 minus 5. Negative 10 minus 4 equals 6. Wait a minute. No, it doesn't. Absolute value of negative 10 minus 4 equals 6, though. Don't forget that absolute value. So that is also an answer.